Hello, those who don't know me, call me Kotobuki Jake. I am very excited about this year's award race. There have been some good movies out in the past year, and I decided to do a series of vlogs to let you know which ones you want to see, and hopefully get you excited about some of them. First of all, I want to talk about some of the oddities as I see it with the Oscar race, things that maybe they should think about doing. First of all, there's been a lot of talk about the idea of doing 10 Best Pictures instead of 5, how it might dilute the quality of the race. Some validity to that, but it's also it is a catch-all category, so in a way it kind of makes sense for there to be more, and there certainly were at least 10 good contenders this year. I've had trouble finding room on my list for all of the ones that I'd like to put on there, and I haven't even seen a lot of the really popular ones. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but a few of them. And my big thing is, though, I hope that this time around the other categories can have 5, because that seems to be the bigger deal. Alright, try that again. Seems to me to be the bigger deal is movies getting less than their full complement of recognition. I've checked out the rules for animated feature. They should have 5 contenders this year. Very good. There you go. As far as the other awards, the rules apparently are kind of stringent in some of the what they call technical categories, but for those of you who have blocked it from your brains, that's probably why Pearl Harbor is Oscar-winning movie Pearl Harbor, because it only had one other contender. It would have been nice if it had 4 others. So, and as far as some of the categories, I've been a big booster for a long time with the idea of adding 3 additional categories. There should be Best Bit Performer Cameo for male Bit Performer Cameo, Best Female Bit Performer Cameo, and I've been thinking this for a long time, since at least 1999, with Charlie Sheen's brilliant performance as Charlie Sheen in Being John Malkovich, which stands as one of the funniest roles I've ever seen. And there have been a couple others through the years. This year saw no shortage. Actually, this year was the year of the cameo and bit player. To clarify, I don't believe a supporting player can be someone who shows up in a movie for a tiny fraction of the movie. In 2007, I will give Ruby Dee her due. She was awesome in American Gangster. The scene where she dresses down her son, played by Denzel Washington, who's a big-time gangster, played by Denzel Washington. You know you don't want to mess with him. And she, the little old lady, just dressed him down. It was a beautiful scene. But she probably had 8 minutes of screen time in the whole movie, and it's 2.5 hours long. That's not support. So bit player performance makes perfect sense for roles like that. It also might prevent some of the confusion that arises when, say, Kate Winslet wins Best Actress for The Reader, or Anthony Hopkins wins Best Actor for The Silence of the Lambs. Supporting roles should not be up for lead performance. So, not to begrudge, I haven't seen The Reader yet, but I will say that, Hannibal Lecter, one of the greatest villains of all time, probably the greatest until the Joker came along a couple years ago. But he was not the lead actor in that movie. Got credit for it anyway. You got 3 levels of acting. Helps to break it up a bit. Less confusion. Another thing would be the other one that I am a big booster for, have been for a while, is for soundtrack recording or original soundtrack or something like that. I've just been looking at the eligible movies for original score this year, and several, in fact most of my top picks for original score have been deemed ineligible. Karen O and the Kids with Carter Burwell for Where the Wild Things Are, lovely score, considered ineligible. Nicholas Hooper's score for Harry Potter, borrowed liberally from the existing score by John Williams, but really, would you want it otherwise in a franchise? But it was the best score Harry Potter has had since the first movie. It had original material, and it was good, all around. And Education had an incredible soundtrack. It is eligible for a couple of original song categories. Original song awards, possibly. Not for original score. And I don't understand that because it had a lovely score. My thing is, yes, you want to reward original music. It's awesome. But you shouldn't downplay the idea of music as a major part of cinema. 3 big examples this year. Up in the Air is eligible for original score. Frankly, I didn't notice the score in that movie nearly as much as the music. As far as I've been able to tell, none of the songs are considered eligible. Even the song they play over the end credits that was written for the movie, sent to Jason Reitman, specifically said, "This is for the movie, I hope you can use it." And it's called Up in the Air. And it's a great song, but it's not eligible. But the soundtrack, it starts off with this bluesy, funky rendition of Woody Guthrie's This Land Is Your Land. And of course it's a great song when you're a kid. I haven't thought about it in years as a great song, although it's nice. But that version was great, and it was a great way to start the movie. And the movie overall had a great soundtrack. Inglourious Basterds had an incredible soundtrack. Quentin Tarantino is pretty much the best director I can think of for picking music, cherry-picking music to make a great soundtrack. Pulp Fiction is one of the best soundtracks ever. Jackie Brown, great soundtrack. The Kill Bill soundtracks. And then who can forget the use of Steelers Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You in his first film, Reservoir Dogs? No one. Son of a Preacher Man in Pulp Fiction. Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon in Pulp Fiction. No one forgets the use of those once they've seen the movie. You hear Missoulou by Dick Dole and the Deltones, you think Pulp Fiction. Movie would not have been eligible for any Oscars. Why? Oh Brother Art Thou, best soundtrack ever. Not eligible for any Oscars. That's not Tarantino, that's the Coens. The Coen brothers and their collaborations with T-Bone Burnett also fit in that category. Oh Brother Art Thou, Big Lebowski, Intolerable Cruelty, Lady Killers. Even though The Lady Killers was a very uneven movie and the soundtrack reflected that, it was one of those weird things where it reflected it in a good way, if that makes any sense. It doesn't to me. But the Roots doing the same song that was recorded by gospel people for the same movie, it made it really interesting, having that song as a theme. I think it was, I can't remember the title of the song right now. It was a gospel number where they used original recordings of both gospel and rap of the same song. It was really cool. But that would not have been eligible. So that's the other one. And then one other one that I've been thinking about the last few days with movies like Avatar in particular, and then upcoming movie that I'm stoked about, Alice in Wonderland. The use of animation in live-action films has become much more than there used to be. But there's really no way to reward animation. There's a category for animated feature, which movies like Avatar are not eligible for.